Next on deck with Tim Black.
Technically, America itself was a melting pot of different languages and cultures, intertwining and just exchanging languages and teaching other people in the community.
And I appreciate all you Kumbayah Negroes who don't understand how the world works, who want to feel good on X and TikTok and Facebook and say all the nice, colorful green things that unites the masses. Here's the problem. Ain't nobody uniting with your dumb ass.
For the first time, English may become the United States' first official language, and by the end of the day today.
President Donald Trump is expected to sign an executive order making the change.
Executive order alert. English is now the official language of the United States. I say, wow, that's amazing. I like this. Ain't that something? Like, what's wrong with this?
I think it's ridiculous. I don't think it's what we should be worrying about right now. We should be focused on the fact that we're spending $10 for a dozen eggs, and he said he was going to bring those prices down. And also, like, what about human rights issues? That's more important than declaring something the national language.
Then I saw
Technically, America itself was a melting pot of different languages and cultures within itself. So, like, it being a primary language doesn't make sense to be announced when we have such a diverse community.
Michael Harriot, the griot, he responded to it. He said, I'm beginning to think he has a bag of racism gummies that he takes before bed and then wakes up in the middle of the night dictating EOs. How can saying English needs to be the official language of the United States, how can that be racist when language doesn't have a color? There are people that speak English all over the globe. No matter what Trump does, everybody gonna hate it. Do other countries have an official language of their country? Most countries have at least one official language designated by law or constitution for government, education, and administration. But those are the list of countries with their official languages: Afghanistan, Albania, Algeria, Andorra, Angola, Argentina, Armenia, Australia, Greece, Guinea, Guatemala, Guyana, Gambia, Georgia, Germany, Honduras, Hungary, Haiti, Iceland, India, and Jamaica, Madagascar. I'm just jumping around. Okay, so you get the point. Panama, Portugal, Romania, Russia, Rwanda, South Korea, Korean. Okay, Senegal, French. Okay, so there we go. That's enough, right? So what I'm trying to say here, guys, is, let me get this right. And I know it's going to sound crazy because, you know, I'm saying it. But why is it racist when Trump say we should have an official language if all these other countries got official languages? Are they racist as well? And if so, why haven't you been talking about how racist it is that they have official languages? Do tell, Mr. Harriet. Don't rush. I don't want you to, put yourself out too much. Take your time. Get back to me when you want to be an honest commentator on politics. I don't expect to hear from you. Yo, so check this out, guys. Here's the thing. America's, we've been around for what? I don't know, a couple 100 years, 300 years, I don't know. Whatever. We have never had an official language. Look, I'm going to tell you my point, and then I'm going to give you something to consider that's going to be more fact-based. This is my commentary. I think we need an official language because I feel that it negatively impacts Black Americans, particularly when there are jobs you can apply to in certain industries where they're asking for Spanish first. Now, if you're an American citizen, which I'm an American citizen, if your people built this country, this country is built on the blood, sweat, and tears of enslaved Black Americans, right? Black people. Why in the hell, Michael Harriet, would you ever think it would be a problem to make the default language be the language of the people that helped build the country? The least you could do is that we be able to apply for every damn job in here and not get knocked down off the top on the basis of language. I know it doesn't affect you because the language that you have to speak is I'll kiss the Democratic Party ass. That's your first language. Your first language ain't English, it ain't Spanish, it ain't French, it is kiss Democrat Party ass. That's your first language, brother. And that is what makes it despicable. Second thing is this, man. There are people all across the country who know what I'm talking about. So that's my commentary. I think it impacts people negatively. You may not understand it, you may not know it, because and this is not for Harriet. This is for other people. I want you to know there are industries, entire industries, that are dominated by new arrivals and Mexicans, people from the southern border, Latino Americans, people that speak Spanish. That's it. People that speak Spanish. And they want those people. So one way not to hire black folks, because we tend to know Spanish less than all other groups, whether they be Latino or Hispanic in birth, or if they even be white. We tend to be the least bilingual. So one way not to have black people on the slick is just say, hey, we want Spanish speaking. That cancels out a large number of black folks. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, you may not agree with me, you may not like what I'm saying, but do you understand my logic? Remember, I'm advocating for black Americans. You may not give a damn, you want Bernie to come back and run and win the White House. You mad because Tim Black is no longer riding with you in your weird coat. But do you understand my point of view when I say black Americans know Spanish the least in the country? When you say you have to speak Spanish, it's going to knock black people out of the running for jobs more than any other group. And since that's the primary group that I'm advocating for, because we're on the bottom in the hierarchy of the United States economic ladder at the moment, I want to change that. I would be not true to being Tim Black and not true to my initiative and my mission if I were not to have this type of politics on this issue. You may not agree with me. You may have something slick to say out your mouth. You may want to go play your weird music and scream and shout and threaten to cut your mother up into pieces with your goth music or whatever you do. But you have to understand the logic, if you're a logical person, that makes sense. That makes sense for me to take that position. You ain't got to agree with it. You could just stop gaslighting. Well, like what I'm saying, it's crazy. It ain't crazy. It's called true advocacy. Something you never thought to do. Now what I have for you is I have some facts, because facts matter. Facts, they do matter, Johnson. So let's go into some facts to go along with this executive order that Donald Trump just passed. Now, once again, this don't mean Donald Trump is the savior of the blacks, but this helps. A 2023 report on the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics highlights that Hispanic workers, who often bring Spanish proficiency, are overrepresented in sectors like construction, grounds maintenance, and service accommodations. These industries list Spanish as a desirable or required skill, especially in states like California, Texas, with a large Spanish-speaking population. Black workers, conversely, are more concentrated in transportation, healthcare support, and public administration. This occupational segregation suggests that Spanish language demands could indirectly limit Black workers' access to roles in growing Hispanic-dominated fields. So what they're saying is, particularly in California and Texas, where there are a large group of Spanish-speaking folks, it may be the case that Black people are majorly underrepresented in these other lines of work. And we might go into these fields. And for the record, part of the way they knocked us out of the construction business was by hiring Hispanic workers and then putting a language requirement on it. Same thing with the garment district. They say it's wrong for us to discriminate. That's what Michael Harriet said. He said it was racist to have an official language. He didn't say it was racist to have a job requirement that you should have to speak Spanish, or it was highly desirable, which means don't even apply if you don't have Spanish. Don't even apply if you know speaking Spanish. That's what that means. Why is it not discrimination if only 5% of Black people speak Spanish? Why is it not basically saying no niggas? Why is that not the same thing? Isn't that the same thing? If you say, I only want people with left hands who are left-handed to apply, why is that? How is that not saying right-handed people don't come here? Why is that? How is that not discriminating? How is it not discriminating, folks? Oh, they got to go learn a second language to get a job in a country they built for free against their will, for which they were never compensated. Which you tell them they have no right to even ask for. Folks, what I'm trying to tell you is that we have a problem here, folks. We have a problem, which is hypocrisy, and we have sellouts. And it's okay to be a sellout. And I appreciate you, Michael Harriot, and I appreciate the others. And I appreciate all you Kumbayah Negroes who don't understand how the world works, who want to feel good on X and TikTok and Facebook and say all the nice, colorful green things that unites the masses. Here's the problem. Ain't nobody uniting with your dumb ass. I used to be like you, all uniting. I want to bring people together. I want us all to join hands. I want to unite the world. I want everyone to form Voltron. Everyone come together. I'll be a catalyst. My God, I'll do it. I am a black man fighting for the world. Then I looked around and wasn't nobody fighting with my ass. We was alone, like Dr. Claude Anderson said, like Nellie Fuller said, because reality, they like this. We help the blacks, dumb, not you. See, pretending to help black people is a cottage industry. Didn't even know I knew that word, did you? When you want to cape for another group, when you want to cape for American Kumbaya, that only works under the stipulation that all others are doing the same thing. And what I'm trying to tell you is, for instance, every time I turn around and I watch an interview with one of these Democrats, when they talk about black people, even when they do finally have the cojones to talk about black issues, they're always throwing people of color. They're always throwing brown people. You know what? When I'm hearing brown people advocate for their issues, you know what they never do? Throwing black people. See, black people, they have to include others because without including others, they're afraid they're going to get blackballed. So I understand where it comes from. We need to have these conversations. So we need to be honest. Black people throw in brown people to keep whitey off their ass. And whoever that man is, whoever those people are to come talk to you when you get a little bit of money to tell you, if you want to keep your money, don't help black people. Whoever that person is, the Illuminati, whatever y'all want to call it, that comes and pulls black people to the side and says, hey, you got a little paper, you want to keep it? Don't be trying to help black people. Okay, don't think you're going to save the world, save yourself. You need to have these conversations. Nobody has that talk with black Latinos. What they do tell them, they say, hey, stay away from the blacks. Yeah, actually, they do. Actually, they do. They just tell them, stay away from the blacks. They get that talk doing immigration. Stay away from the blacks. That's what they tell them. And they listen. It may sound good, and I understand it. It's counterintuitive. It may be counter to your Christian teaching. That's why we need to make some updates to our Christian literature. It may be counter to everything intuitively that you feel about being a good person. To be like, yo, I thought we was a melting pot. Yo, I thought we should take care of one another, man. I thought this is a place where anybody could have a shot. And why would I want to work against the next man trying to take care of his family? They people just like me, man. We all bleed red, man. I understand that, fam. I get you. I do, man. Damn, I do, man. I get you. I understand it. I relate to it. I used to be you. Here's the thing. We're in a tugboat that's taking on water, and all you got in your hand is a Dixie cup, and you need to get the water out your boat first. I'm sorry it's that way, Johnson. But you got to save yourself first, because you dying. Your boat's going down. Ain't nobody coming to save you, Johnson. They're just not. All right, moving on to the next thing, man. Look, hit the like button on this segment. I put a lot of thought into it. I hope that it made sense to you, provided you some research. Remember, my sources for this are the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics for 2023, and also the Center for American Progress, near attendance organization. They got all that U.S. AID money. I got a new shirt, guys, I want to tell you about. It's called Built for This, because we are built for this. The pride and resilience that my people show, we're going to stand 10 toes down on what we believe. We will not move off our square for nobody. Built for this. We need the truth, and I'm built to give it to you. You got to be built to take it.